Barnes displays a bouquet of dead flowers to attract the attention of Mrs. Fleming, a florist. Barnes anonymously gifted her a cactus, which he ordered from the catalogue on his counter. Questionable choice, but for Barnes, a symbol of his eternal love, since the catalogue presents these cacti as immortal. This is the same cactus he dropped on the Strand, which was the Big Bang. Yes, now to hear the full story. So this is the intro.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Shadows
Do not
over
despair,
London.
Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
That's one of the things I like in the books that you don't often get in like the TV and film adaptations. Is that Holmes fails. I know I can think of at least two off the top of my head where he fails. There's the story of the Yellow Face, and Scandal in Bohemia, which is a big one that often gets stylized that Holmes wins in the end, but he doesn't. He loses, and it's a third story, which is quite interesting.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
My paper was ruined. Mrs. Fleming's new cactus. Let's focus on that one.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
Also, my paper was ruined by your cactus.
I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then. So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus in your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
I know what to do. I mean, that's more true for Sherlock. This is Watson. This is like Watson, you take over. No, this isn't really my area.
I have neither the experience nor the interest in navigating the finer sex and their peculiarities. Do what you will.
Oh, right. Yes.
So, at last, we return to the matter.
There's a perfectly good
Paper.
Watson there.
I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Which, that might be relevant to something. Saltpeter explosion rocks docks. Locals at the Port of London had a rude awakening last night, with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. I'm slightly annoyed, by the way. I'm slightly annoyed that I get that that's kind of the choice, but really Holmes wouldn't know. Well, maybe no, but only really on a theoretical level, because he's not too fussed. Whereas here is a Watson who very much the romantic. Go on, Watson. Right. The merchant ship Moskva had docked at pier number 3 in the early evening en route to Europe, where it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The Port Authority is yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing saltpeter leaking into the river, but with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Can I talk to you again?
let me know if there's any way I can make it up to you. Tell you what, Tomorrow's edition of The Strand is on me.
I was kind of hoping that the newspaper article would have been a bit more useful, but... oh well. Can I talk to Mrs. Fleming?
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
Indeed.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. It doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
it's brilliant. Let's go.
oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
First class cuts. No. Just,
I should have worn something warmer.
yes, probably.
Hello there. What's your name?
Lily, I know, not very original.
Oh. Yeah, let's just leave the hat off. Right, well, here's this.
Not much further now.
Yes, I'm aware, because it's right here, isn't it? Well, it's an open gate now. Oh, yes, I remember.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. And it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
I love that he's called Ruffles. Why won't you investigate?
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick.
But if there's other missing... But he could have been kidnapped.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Can you describe him?
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
But legally speaking, of course, he was a servant. Where does he live?
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
Okay. Has he run away before?
I take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
Because, of course, when you think... Never mind. I mean, it's not like we've just been discussing that there's so many burglaries that there's no point in looking for a connection between them in London. Right, well, why do you think he would run away?
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
The high life. Did he take anything?
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
Yeah, right. Servant. When did Kimahir vanish?
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
Wow. A servant who receives wages, quote unquote, escaped. Yes. Right, is there anything in the gazebo? Ooh, a hat. Well, I can't take it, alas. So we'll go round to the servants' bedroom. So what's going on here? Hello.
Chewing tobacco.
Not exactly a Maori tradition. Why is that all wibbly?
A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots.
New reward unlocked. Check bonus section. And something over on the left that I probably should have been looking at. That's probably more important. It's got to be this thing I'm looking at, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Or is that a I need to interact with it thing? Yeah, even with the system of telling me what there is, I don't know what the other thing is. Okay, is there anything around here? Because this is, I think, is as far as it'll let me go. Okay. Maybe I have to pick up something first. Maybe. So we'll come back. Right. Concentration helps you pick up small details. When you see a wavy green circle, press Q to observe the object more closely. Okay. It's good that you're telling me that now. The shack is admittedly better than in the previous edition, where it was basically a shed, where that's kind of more of a lean-to. Knee print hiding?
Looks like a knee print. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
Why has that gone like that? What does that mean? And should I be scared? Is that Holmes going slowly insane? wow. Fabric caught on
A scrap of Hessian.
the nail. And there's another one, is there? Yeah, the broken boxes.
These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them.
Press Q to see imagination nodes. Well, let's have a look in here. Oh, hello. Ash?
The ashes are long since cold.
I mean, yeah. But there's bone.
Button chops. The remains of a meal.
But where's his cabbage? Some kind of pellet?
A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly?
Yes.
Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called.
Okay. Ah. The lid.
No air coming through it. Is this a Taniwha, a Maori water spoon, or something else?
I don't know.
Either way, it's giving me chills.
Okay. Got our imagination to work with. Maybe. What? Okay. Wheels on a track.
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh.
Is it this, maybe? No. Not used recently. I mean, there's nothing over this way, is there? There's a wibble over here, but that'll be the... Yeah, things to ask him about. No. Not barefoot. Oh, I've only got the one option at the moment. I see. But that's not right. That's not right. Because it's a shoe print, not a footprint. Alright.